Hey guys, welcome to another Achieve More podcast. My name is Anthony. You can find me on YouTube at Picksburgh. Do a lot of cool travel videos there with my fiance. Coming up, you're going to see a lot of fun cruise videos as we're going to Mexico and California and all kinds of cool places. Stay tuned for more of that. It's also the video home of the Achieve More podcast. So if you want to come see how handsome Michael and I are, that's where you're going to come over to Picksburgh on YouTube. Speaking of Michael, he has a YouTube channel himself called Huddle Card Collection. Does a lot of pack openings, and he also has a podcast over there called Collecting Profit. Does that every Wednesday evening at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a live show, so you can actually go and participate in his live chat and ask questions and actually be a part of the show. So go over to Huddle Card Collection Wednesday evening, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, especially if you like sports cards, collectibles, eBay, and all those types of things. How are you doing today, Michael?
Doing one, Friday. Thank you for having me again this week. Looking forward to this one.
Yeah,
Looking forward to talking to Blanca.
likewise. And speaking of Blanca, I want to go ahead and introduce her. We have Blanca Rodriguez on the show today. She is the CEO and founder of Wounded Healer LLC. How are you doing today, Blanca?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you so much, you both, for having me here. It's a joy and an honor for me to be here.
It's our pleasure as well. So, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get to start Wounded Healer LLC?
Yes, Wounded Healers, we are individuals that we use as fuel the traumatic experiences that we have had in the past, and we use it as the best gasoline ever to help others improve their quality of life. I come from a place where there were very dark seasons in my life. I come from death. I come from loss. I come from tragedy. I come from a household infested with chronic mental illnesses, abuse, abandon, lots of violence involved, lots of silence going on for many decades. The whole shenanigans, shame, low self esteem, low self worth. And all of these experiences, I am honoring my parents with this new mission that I have in my life. I am honoring all of us that live in a world of silence for many decades of our lives, believing that our voice was not worth anything to anyone, and coming out through the other side and understanding that the more we pick up the pieces of ourselves and use them for the better good, the more of a healing experience we will have. And this is my lifelong mission until the day is time for me to part from this world. Definitely, that's how important it is.
That's incredible. Yeah, what
Thank
gave
you.
you the what was it that made you decide one day, you know what, I'm gonna take all of these experiences that I've had over the years and I'm gonna use them to help other people?
Definitely, that was a decades long process of coming to this new season. And when I say news, it's been years and years in the making. I was taught from home to be a helper, to always help others. My father was a business owner. Both of my parents are Puerto Rican. My father went to New York City back in the late 50s, early 60s in search for the American dream. And he was one of the lucky ones that he really achieved the American dream with hard work and dedication. And to him, one of the most important parts of his success was to help others. And he was a very giving man. He will always be sending money to Puerto Rico, not only to his parents but to many people that maybe they took advantage of him. It doesn't matter to him. It really that didn't matter to him. He was always there to help others, and that is what make his success as a businessman, as a human being, even larger for his great character. And unfortunately, he didn't last that long in this world. His life was taken when he was only 43 years old in his jewelry store, and that is when more tragedy even happened. We were raised, my siblings and me, in a world where you don't talk about the dead, you don't talk about mental illnesses. My mother she got lost in a very deep state of depression and she never recovered from it. So I grew up in a world where life was a different thing before my father passed, and life changed, transformed into something that I never imagined it would happen after my father's death. I was 8 years old when my father died, and that left a very, very deep rooted scar in not in my soul, in my life. And this is the thing: two-thirds of all children from around the planet will have some kind of traumatic experience by the time they are 16 years old, whether it is the tragic loss of a loved one, being bullied by family members and or at school, or being sexually assaulted. I went through all three of these by the time I was 9 years old. So with all of this trauma that I didn't understand, the first thing that I didn't understand was grief. I didn't understand what were the stages of grief. I understand it clearly now, many decades later. But an 8 year old girl losing the most important person in her life and living in a world of shh, you don't talk about the dead. She's a little girl, she doesn't understand. That only took me further down that rabbit hole of being misunderstood, not being supported, feeling abandoned, isolated, rejected, neglected. And with my mother's mental illness, she had very violent moments. So we didn't really know what to expect with her, and her way to cope with all of this loss. It was definitely very twisted, very confusing, very isolated. And that really took me down to a deep rabbit hole of decades of solitude, decades of questioning so many things that I would really never find the answer outside. I will only find the answer within myself. But it took me a very long time to understand that whatever path I took in that moment in time for many, many years, which was the path of low self-esteem, low self-worth, self-destructive patterns. It was only based on the environment that I was living around in, and my silence only made it worse. And once I became a mother after hard partying, drugs, alcohol, jumping from person to person, living a so cold functional life because I had a job, I went to college, I was functional. And in the eyes of a lot of people, I was like I really mastered the art of pretending to be in a great space, pretending to have control over everything, pretending to be living the life that of my dreams. And I got better and better and better at it. But what everybody and anybody didn't see was that dark side, the side of silence, the side of shame, the side of abuse. I was involved in a very abusive relationship with the father of my children, and we were only mirroring each other. We had a codependent relationship filled with abuse, filled with addiction as well. He was an addict all the way to the day he died. And the more I was getting more and more lost in that rabbit hole, I came to terms that something had to change when I became a mother. And no, I didn't give life to my kids. My kids gave me a second chance on life, a chance on getting out of my bubble of self-pity. Poor little me. I'm everybody's victim. I always found somebody to blame for my actions, and taking matters into my own hands and starting to look at life with a different lens. Because if I really wanted to give my kids a better life than the one I had to make a change. There's this phenomenal inspirational speaker from way back in the day. His name was Jim Rohn, and he used to say, life doesn't get better by chance. It gets better by change. And that is something that went straight into the deepest of my gut. And I said, if I want change to happen, I gotta get out. I gotta get out of this habit. I gotta get out of my habits. I gotta get out of my comfort zone and really face the music head on and understand that we don't confront trauma by running away from it. I did that for a long time. We confront trauma by facing it. And it was time for me to really take a long look at that mirror and say and ask myself, hey lady, where is your life gonna go now? What are you gonna do next? Are you gonna make it better? Are you gonna continue to feel sorry for yourself for the rest of your life and let that generational trauma go to your kids? It was time to make a decision, and the decision was made. And when I'm telling you that it's never late to hit that start button, I really started making all of these changes in my late 40s when my kids were growing and they growing up. They're full-blown adults now. I am happily married to an amazing human being. We've been 12 years married, but everything in my life, it happened later, and it's okay. It takes a lot of failure to finally succeed. And success is not really defined by the money we make. That, hey, that is more than welcome. But success really comes from within. And as a woman that I was in the other side of where I am now, it was time for me to let the masses know. Because if I was in that world of silence, I am positively sure and certain that a lot of people have lived lifetimes of being in suffering and pain and loss in silence, believing that they're not worth anybody's time and effort like I was. I was there for a very long time. I didn't believe I was worth a conversation that I'm having right now with you guys. I didn't believe that I will never be in a place where I am now. And with hard work and dedication and getting out of my comfort zone, facing my own fears, I am here, and I don't take this lightly, guys. This is a huge honor for me. This is something that is bigger than myself, and this is why I definitely this has become my mission in life. And as long as I have a brain and a voice, I will never shut up. My husband says this like, well, you're gonna be doing this till the day you die because all you do is talking, talking, talking. It's like, well, so be it, bro. Bring it. So yeah, it took me, and then again, one another way that I took myself out of my comfort zone. I wrote a chapter in a book about my experience in life, and that's when I said, okay, this is, I gotta throw myself into this, and everybody is gonna know where I have been in life. Everybody, my sister, my brother, nobody knew. Nobody knew until a chapter in a book came out, and it's like, okay, now everybody's gonna know. And it was very healing. It was very liberating. It's been a bigger, better, a big part of my healing journey. And when there are moments in life that we go for so long going through these things, I was not only sexually assaulted, this happened repeatedly with different people for many, many, many years. And the wounds are not our fault. And that I understand it. I totally internalize it. But the healing is our responsibility. Okay. And this healing journey is for the rest of my life, and I'm here to embrace it. And this is a huge part of embracing healing, achieving more, making a tragedy become a lesson for myself and for other people as well. And this is why I'm here. And I've been talking a lot already. Yes.
when you realized you had to make the change, was it physical and mental? Meaning, did you have to leave where you were? Did you feel you could stay where you physically were at that time, or did you did you have to leave? Like, or and if you're talking to people, with your company and everything, is it, hey, sometimes you have to get away from where you are to start
Mhm.
the healing process? What was it like for you?
Well, my experience was this: as a battered woman being in a narcissistic relationship, I started, here we go with the silence. I started quietly and silently to seek help. I was in a very different mindset than what this person was on. He was in his own world of everything was about him. Narcissistic tendencies are like that. And when it comes to this person being an addict, when comes to this person being an emotionally and physically abusive person, is a horrible situation. And when I understood that I didn't want to see my daughter or my son repeating what I was going through, I started little by little, nice and quiet. Shh. Oh, that came very handy. This is like, okay, isn't this ironic that I live in a world of silence, but then I use that silence for my healing journey.
Yeah.
So it was pretty remarkable. And I went quietly and silently. I went to group therapy. I went to psychotherapists. I went to counseling. I grabbed every single book I could find because the internet era was not really in full blown at that time. And and when I started to pick up those tools, when I started to actually use them, is when I started building the strength that I didn't know I possess. That's when I started building my strength in the middle of a highly abusive relationship. But the thing is this: as I was still dealing with this, I was starting to change my own chapter with my silence. And it came the time, it's like, okay, I don't care what happens from here on. I am going to walk out of this relationship. And that's exactly what I did. I had only $89 in my bank account with two little kids in a car that was falling apart. And I said, I'd rather sleep under the bridge in my car with my kids than be another minute, another second with this person again. But that was a build up of me stepping into my power and really starting to love myself a little more, because that was the one thing that I lacked, was self-love for a long, long time. Now it's a whole different journey. It's a whole different season of my life that is full with love, self-love, appreciation, compassion, empathy, support, communication, love, self love, looking at myself in the mirror and saying, Mamita, you're doing good, honey. I love you. So it's a whole different ballgame. But my rooting on my change, it really started in the middle of the chaos. That is for sure. And that's when the changes started. And the more I look at my kids, the more I look at my environment, my kids were my biggest inspiration for change. And I cannot thank them enough for that. Mhm.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
So outside of your kids, where else did you find the strength to kind of break the abusive relationship and kind of move on?
Yes, this is very interesting because when I moved to Florida, this is where I live with this person, I wanted a change of profession and I wanted to do something related to wellness, related to, here we go again, helping others. I've always been into helping others. And I wanted something, I wanted to go to school, get it done, get certified, and get going and go to work. And that's when I discovered a massage therapy school. And that's when I was introduced to alternative health lifestyle. This is when I was introduced to body, mind, and spirit. This is when I was introduced to holistic life living, mixing East with West, coming together as a team. And my mind was blown away, and I started grabbing the tools and using them more and more and more. And the more clients and patients I have worked with tens of thousands of patients in my career. I've been doing this for almost 20 years, and I have had everything and anything you can imagine and not imagine, I have had on my table. And I have worked with a lot of people that they were physically and emotionally abused. And all I had to say is, so how are you feeling today? And I started listening and listening and listening. So how long you been with this person? Oh, 30 years, 25 years. And what is stopping you? I don't know. I just cannot find a way out. And that's when I started saying to myself, well, you know what? I don't want to be the repetition of the same redundant story through the eyes of others. That was a big inspiration. I cannot thank all of these people enough. What happened to them? I have no idea. I hope these people are okay. But I took care of a lot of battered women, and they were full of bruises. And I could see by the way the bruises were, I could anatomically see how they were at the time that when they received the hit.
Mhm.
And the more I saw that, and I would put my hands on them, it was like them taking me in their journey with them. It's very powerful and it's devastating. And I said to myself, I am not gonna go through this. I was emotionally abused more than I was physically abused. And there were a lot of people that they will hide their bruises. This is the typical battered woman syndrome. And I was a battered woman as well. So I was learning tremendously through the eyes of others. And that's when I said, I cannot do this alone anymore. I just cannot do this alone anymore. I need help. And when I accepted that fact, really, the doors really opened in a beautiful way. But this has been many years in the making. It was like over, I don't know, I've been massaging for almost 20 years. So it was like, wow, 2 years before that. So this has been a long, long journey of many, many years. And I left this person 11, 12 years ago, no, 13 years ago. And then after that, I mean, one of the self-help books, because I use every single tool that you can imagine. I wanted more and more and more because that fed me with the desire to move on in my life
Mm.
and let go of what was keeping me stuck. And that side of me that was stuck, and I was redundant, and I was swimming in the same vicious circle over and over and over. And it's like, well, this circle has to stop. I have to get out of here, and I am not going to do this alone anymore. And one of the self-help books that I did, I think it was from Carl Jung. I was asked to make a list of the 10 most important things that you want on any relationship. And I was like, well, I am not in love with this person. I'm just scared of him. And I think I love him, but I really don't. And I wrote down these 10 things. This person didn't have a face, didn't have a body. It's like, I don't know who this person is, but I am going to do exactly what the book says and call for this person and manifest it and say, I want this person. This is the person I'm going to have. I'm going to have. 2 months later, I met my now husband. 2 months later.
Awesome.
Yes. And this is the power of manifestation. And it's like, I cannot believe what's going on here. This is so amazing. And that was another journey on itself. But getting out of this highly abusive relationship really came with many lessons. And in my case specifically, I was fully participant in my own misery. Okay. This is something that a lot of people don't have the guts to admit. When you are in a relationship that is abusive, it takes two to tango. Okay. It's the enabler and the enabled. It's the abuser and the victim. In my case, we were victims and abusers, and we will take turns on and this is what a codependent relationship is about. We were addicted to each other. We were violent with each other. My violence, I know exactly where it comes from. It comes straight back to my childhood and being in an environment full of violence, of neglect, rejection. And unfortunately, my mother had demons that she never could deal with them because it was demonized. Because mental illness in her time was basically you're crazy and
Mm.
that's it. This is it. And your life is over. So my mother was terrorized about it. And I remember uncles, aunts, it's like, I can give you the whole menu of mental illnesses. My family had it. And it was the time of life when one pill fits all.
Hmm.
It was the same pill for psychosis, schizophrenia, depression, PTSD. And at that time, there were hardly any names for these different mental illnesses. Nowadays, there's over 200 and different mental illnesses that they have a
Oh,
name
wow.
and an explanation. Okay. And back in the day, you were crazy. And that was it. So my mother was terrified of these pills because people will become zombies. And then when they will get off the pill, they will go straight back to square one. Nothing was really done.
Mm.
There's been a lot of progress, that's for sure, from those times to now, which is a great thing. But there's still a lot to be done. And I am very, in a big way, I'm very happy for the changes that I have seen myself because I grew my entire natural life. I've been around a lot of mental illness and a lot of really crazy people, starting with my own mother. So it's a good thing to see the progress that is done now, but there's still a lot to be done. And living in that kind of environment, it was redundant. It was a circle of never ending circle with starting with my mother. It was generational trauma. It was the violence that I grew up with before my mother becoming what she did. Unfortunately, my father was the rock of the house. He was the kind man. He was gentle. He was not abusive. He will never raise his voice at anybody. He was always laughing. He was definitely a gentleman. And that is something that, even though he lasted very little in my life, I lost him when I was only 8 years old. That is something that stayed somewhere within me.
Mm.
And I come back to that list that I did of the person that I wanted in my life. And it had everything to do with my father, with the way my father was. It's pretty remarkable how the human mind works and how the rooting of who we are, it can take us to many places, whether it is for the good or the bad. I decided to learn from all the horrible experiences and move on and be grateful to still be here because I could have easily been a statistic of the battered woman that was
Mm.
killed by her ex-partner and the two kids are alone. I could have easily been another statistic of the battered woman that was desperate and she overdosed on drugs and the kids are alone as well. And that didn't happen to me for a very powerful reason. And to me, one of the biggest reasons this happened is right here, right now, with you, gentlemen. And I'm very grateful about it.
Yeah,
So
it's
for
so
those,
really
oh,
go ahead, Michael.
I was gonna say, so kind of like a two-part question here. So, uh, for those who may not know, what is holistic therapy, and why did you choose to go that direction?
Yes, definitely. Holistic lifestyle is about east meeting west. Okay. Holistic lifestyle is about body, mind, and spirit working as a team, not as separate entities. And I'm going to give the simplest and the most famous example there is that everybody at some point always has: stress. Stress is a thought that becomes a mindset, and that reflects directly on our bodies in the form of gastrointestinal issues, lower back pain, stiff shoulders, migraines, and even in very extreme cases, heart attacks and strokes. That is what a thought that becomes a mindset can convert into our physical world, which is stress. Stress is a very loud, debilitating feeling. And even though there's the stress hormone cortisol is there for a reason, there's something called the good stress, which is, for example, you're driving and somebody is spaced out in the phone and they're heading towards you, your stress level is going to react immediately, and what you're going to do reflexively, you avoid immediately. There's no thinking about it. But on the other hand, if you live a life of, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm so stressed, I'm always stressed, that is glorifying stress. And I hear it a lot and so much, especially in the younger generations. Life is about being stressed and being tired. I am so stressed, I'm so tired. Well, there's a direct correlation between stress and being tired, because stress is debilitating. Stress clouds your mind. Stress can make you weak. So, this is why holistic lifestyle comes into play, because if you're stressed, what you can do for stress, get a massage. It is proven massage therapy is dated from 3000 BC. It's a very powerful practice. There's 80 different types of massages in the world. 80. I've been almost 20 years doing this, and I'm still a student, and I absolutely love it because I'm always learning something new about this very powerful craft. So with massage therapy, it is proven that the levels of cortisol, the stress hormone cortisol, will go down with only one session over 30%, and the happy chemicals of our bodies, dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins, especially serotonin and endorphins, those are the mood enhancers and the pain reducers. Those levels will go up by over 31% with one massage session. And this is when holistic lifestyle gets into play. You have a problem with high blood pressure, you need your medication, use your medication, but your medication is not the cure for everything in your life. There's got to be much more than that. You need medication for something, yeah, please use it. But how about practicing mindfulness? How about going into prayer? How about doing physical activity? How about doing meditation? I have a great teacher of mine that he says that praying is talking to God and meditation is listening to God. I practice meditation on a daily basis. I'm in the middle of my menopausal stages, and a lot of us women in menopause, the first thing that goes out the window is our sleep. And I don't have an issue with my sleep because I practice gratitude for the simplest things that we have in life. It's very important because when you practice gratitude, your mindset does change. You're not too busy grieving and dwelling on what you don't have or what you should have in your mind, besides, versus, wow, I am grateful for my phone. I am grateful for internet. I am grateful for my bed. How many people are grateful for their beds? Not many. That really doesn't happen. And this is the thing: one third of our whole lives we are in bed sleeping. And how important is sleep for quality of life and brain function? The better night sleep we have, the better we make it a consistent habit of having our sleep times at the same times, the better brain health we will have. It's remarkable. It's remarkable. And this is why I love holistic life so much, because I not only am a practicing holistic life coach, I'm a practicing massage therapist, canine massage therapist, speaker, educator, and author, but this is something that is part of my lifestyle, and it really has bring me great results. And yes, life gets lifing. Life can suck. Oh yeah, life can suck. And there's a lot of things that is like, okay, why is this happening? I don't need this crap in my life. But the faster we pick up these tools and we use them, the more in harmony we will be. Life is not, oh, we're always in balance. That is bullcrap. Okay. We're not always in balance all the time. Okay. That is an illusion. It's a nice thought, but it's not really real. Okay. In this human experience, there's the ups and downs all around, and there's the high tide, and there's the low tide, and there's a tornado, and the hurricane comes and goes. But what are we going to do when these situations happen? What tools are we going to use to make it better? Because the more calm we are in heavy situations, the more we will be able to really make better decisions rather than be lost, clouded with our mindset. Because the worst decisions that we do is in a moment of desperation. Don't make any decisions when you're desperate. Don't make any decisions when you feel like your walls are closing in, because it can be the worst mistake you can make in your life. Versus being in a conversation, it's like, okay, let me pause. Let me go outside for a little bit. Let me calm myself down. Let me breathe nice, slow, and deeply. And let me come back to this. And the difference is remarkable. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. I've always been curious. What's the biggest difference between a human massage and a canine massage?
All righty, that is a good one. I've been a canine massage therapist for 9 years, and I am honored to do human and canine massage. The difference with canine massage therapy is that, of course, the dog is four-legged, okay? And when we are in four legs versus two legs, gravity is totally different. Their body composition is different. Of course, they have fur or hair or whatever the case may be. And the approach on massage therapy for canines is similar, but very different. With human massage therapy, we can go down the back and come back up the back because we have skin and hair. And even with hairy people, it's not much of a difference. The person is very, very comfortable. Versus dogs, their sense of touch is 5 times more sensitive than us. So when I massage a dog, I go with the hairline, not against the hairline, because they will hurt. It will be very uncomfortable for them. And this is just, simple anatomy. You go with the hairline and never go deep. Versus with humans, oh, the deeper you go, the better. I want to feel this. I want you to put that elbow in and all that stuff. And one thing that I want the audience to know is that massage doesn't have to be deep to be highly effective. Okay, so people can open their minds a little bit there. I don't receive deep tissue massage, and I feel the powerful effects of it no matter what. But when going back to dogs, the lighter the touch, the better it will be for them. If there's the need to put more pressure, that is as the animal is getting used to your touch. With human massage therapy, we tell the client or the patient, okay, I'm ready to turn you over, please face up. With the dog, when the dog is done, because that's the thing, when the animal is done, they just get up and leave. Oh, and give me my treat, because I always give them treats. Yeah. That's the treat. And I'm always in communication with the dogs. Their communication system is remarkable, and they don't need to speak to say it all out loud. How do we know this? The way their ears are, the way their tail is. When you see a dog that is in distress, they will yawn a lot, a lot, a lot. They will give you the side eye, where we call it, like, don't give me the side eye. Well, a dog give you a side eye, you better step back, wait, give him a treat, and wait till they're comfortable with your presence. And I go around the dog's need. And most of my doggy patients, when they're done with me massaging one side of their body, they just turn to the other side on their own. I massage their other side. And when they're done with me, they're just done. Yeah. And they leave. It's wonderful. I love it. Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a very powerful practice. Human massage therapy has been around since 3000 BC, and with animal massage, it's been since 2700 BC, actually. Very
Wow.
ancient practice. Yes, yes.
Interesting. That's really cool. Um,
Yeah.
so we have a few segments we like to do at the end of the podcast. First one is called No Dumb Questions. We allow audience members to send in questions, and the first question we have today is, "What is the strangest experience you've ever had with massage therapy?"
The strangest, wow, I have many strange, wow, that I got a list. The
Might have been a
strangest,
yes,
the
yes, you have.
strangest experience with massage therapy. With humans, quite a few, to be honest with you. But one of the strangest ones was with this gentleman, very nice guy, by the way. And he came in saying that he had PTSD and all of these things. And okay, well, let's work around it. And and I started working on him, and then he was telling me go deeper, and I will go deeper. And then after I went deeper, it's like, no, could you go lighter? Okay, I go lighter. No, go deeper. No, go lighter. No, go deeper. So that was like kind of strange. I was like, okay, make up your mind, bro, because I don't know what to make out of this. And then another strange experience was with this woman, and not this woman, there's been quite a few. Don't touch my neck because I just did my hair. And it's like, well, the neck muscle is not only in the neck area. The neck muscles are the trapezius, is the upper trapezius, which they start on the base of your skull and they go straight down to your scapula or in between your shoulder blades. No, just do that. And another one was do the half of my back because the other half I'm itching, or I don't like it, or don't touch me. And a lot of people don't touch my feet, but that's normal. That's kind of normal. But definitely the strangest one was that guy. It's like, go deeper, no, go lighter, no, go deeper, no, go lighter. It's like, okay, we have an hour. I'm not kidding you. And he wanted only his back to be worked on. So yeah, he's like, okay, this is strange, but oh, okay, whatever works. That was something. Oh my God. I can tell you so many stories that we could go forever on this one.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Um, and another segment we typically do towards the end of the podcast is called "We Have to Ask, but You Don't Have to Answer." Out of the clients, who are the bigger dogs, the dogs or the guys?
Wow. Wow, that's a good one. Definitely the dogs. Yeah. Oh yeah, I have worked with Rottweilers. Ah,
Oh,
they
that has
are impressive. I have worked with Great Danes. Ooh, ho, ho, ho. Oh yeah, yeah. And they jump on me, and and they're taller. It's like, what am I gonna do with so much dog here? So I could say the dog, and there is a reason for this. The dog has a bigger personality. That is for sure. Yes, especially the Rottweilers. Don't underestimate the Rottweilers. They're a whole different breed. You gotta watch out with those that can be very tough ones. So yeah, between the Rottweilers and the man, definitely the Rottweilers. Oh, they can eat up the man any day. Yeah, anytime.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did you ever have any dogs try to bite you or anything like crazy like that happened, or are they pretty tame whenever they come in for massage?
Well, I did my internship for canine massage at a no-kill shelter, and there was this pit bull that just had surgery, a very abused, highly abused pit bull, and I went into the cage with the pit bull, and I tried to touch the pit bull, and the pit bull growled, and that for me, that was it. That was it for, oh yeah, it's like you growl at me is because the next thing that can come can be attack, and no, I don't play with that. And it's amazing because even though they don't have a voice, oh, they can tell you what they want, what they don't like, what they like. And the good thing about school and being trained at a shelter, at a no-kill shelter, I was trained by dog trainers, and they said if the dog growls, if the dog gives you the side eye, if you see white on their eyes, if their ears are in a certain way, if the tail is in a certain way, you need to step back, get out of the way, and let them be. So yeah, it's good to be informed about it beforehand. Definitely. Yeah.
From a canine massage perspective, how do I, as an owner, know that I should bring my dog to you?
If the dog is anxious, if the dog has separation anxiety, if the dog is eating everything in your home, if the dog is scared of thunder, lightning. I live in Florida. This is the lightning capital of the world.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I am not kidding. I never experienced lightning in anywhere in the world the way I experience it here. And when the dog starts shaking, it freaks out. They pee on themselves. They start trembling a lot. Definitely, they need a massage. When you leave for work and all you hear is the dog howling and barking and barking and barking all day, that is another major sign that they have tremendous separation anxiety. And a lot of dogs that they are rescued, we just don't know what their past is. We just
Mm.
don't know where they come from. So it's very important to be aware of where they come from. It's vital to know what the breed is, because if you get a working dog to be in the house, it's not going to work out for the best. I promise you that. We took care of our son's husky for 8 months while he was deployed, and the dog had to be taken out. The dog had to be taken to daycare every single day, because if the dog stayed one day in our house alone, the dog will destroy the house, because he's a working dog and
Mm.
they like to get busy. And no, but they don't see it as I'm gonna destroy your house. It's like, no, I'm gonna go to work, and they do work. So it's vital that you understand the breed before you see, oh, the dog is so cute, let me go get a dog because he's cute. Research the breed, please, I beg of you.
Mm.
Research the breed, because the poor dog could end at a shelter, just like so many others that people were expecting something and it came out to be a whole opposite, and they just, make the decision of tossing the poor dog.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. So before we let you go, I know you do a lot of volunteer work. Are there any organizations that you want to give a shout out to or talk about any of the stuff that you're currently working on?
Yes, absolutely. I volunteer for a platform called the Pet Cottage, and this amazing platform adopts dogs that are from people, let's say from seniors that passed away, and the dog has nowhere else to go. They give permanent housing to these animals. They give permanent housing to, let's say, military personnel that they are deployed, and for whatever reason it may be, they don't come back. The dog, if they don't come back, they will get permanent housing. The dog will never be abandoned, will never be given away, will never be thrown away to a shelter, to a kill or no kill shelter. The dog is the rest of their life is secured at this place. And I go there and I volunteer and I give massage therapy to all the beautiful lovely canines, and most of these dogs are seniors. And senior dogs, they are the most difficult dogs to get adopted. Nobody
Yeah.
wants an older dog. It's unfortunate, but that is the reality. That's the way it is. So I volunteer for this amazing platform, and I volunteer as well for this amazing platform that is called the Inner Truth Project. And this platform is uh, to help people that they have been sexual victim of sexual violence, that they're survivors. So a lot of good services are offered there: massage therapy, psychotherapy, Zumba, uh, things that really can help them come back to their true selves after violent attacks of sexual. So those are two very important platforms that I definitely volunteer, and it's my honor to be part of it.
That's really awesome.
Great.
Anything else that you want to promote today before we let you go?
Well, in My practice, I do a lot of holistic life coaching. And for the audience, if you are interested in receiving a powerful life coaching experience, no judgment, no compromise, I am offering a complimentary session to all of the listeners. It can be 15 minutes, it can be an hour, it doesn't matter. There's no time limit. But I would like to let the audience know, please don't do this alone. I have a life coach till this day, and it keeps on helping me tremendously with the micro goals that I may have or the big goals that I may have. So I highly recommend these services because we are here to help. We are here to help you grow, and we grow together. So, and to have accountability, how important it is to have an accountability partner when we're going to situations that we think that nobody else can help us. Then we have someone that really can give us this support. So yes, I wanted to offer these services, and just go to my website, woundedhealer.us, and check out on all the services that I provide. And remember, this is no compromise, no judgment. I am just here for you because I love doing this. It has helped me tremendously with my progress, with my healing, and I can assure you that it'll help you too.
Awesome. And that's fantastic. I'll make sure I have all that stuff
Yeah.
linked below. So regardless if you guys are watching this on YouTube, listen to this on Spotify or other platforms, just go to the description notes of the show. We'll have all of that down below. Michael, before we let Blanca go, are there any final questions you have for her today?
No, just to say thank you for your time. One of the things we always try to tell all the people who come on our show is we know that, people only have a certain amount of time. And for you to give up your time away from, what you're doing, your family, stuff like that, to spend it with Anthony and I, that we and our audience, we truly appreciate you giving up that time and spending it with us. So thank you very much for that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's definitely is a joy for me to be here. And this is time well invested with you gentlemen. So thank you for having me.
Hey, thank you kindly. And guys, we appreciate you going and checking out Blanca's website. Make sure you go over to YouTube, follow me at Picksburgh, follow Michael over at Huddle Card Collection. And until next week, guys, may God bless you. We hope you take it easy.
See you later, everybody.